How McDougal topped the score. A peaceful spot is Piper's Flat. The folk that live around, they keep themselves by keeping sheep and turning up the ground. But the climate is erratic and the consequences are the struggle with the elements is everlasting war. We plough and sow and harrow, then sit and pray for rain, and then we all get flooded out and have to start again. But the folk are now rejoicing as they never rejoiced before, for we played Molongo cricket and McDougal topped the score. Molongo had a head on it and challenged us to play a single innings match for lunch, the losing team to pay. We were not great guns at cricket, but we couldn't well say no, so we all began to practice and let the reefing go. We scoured the flat 10 miles round to muster up our men, but when the list was totalled, we only numbered 10. Then up spoke Big Tim Brady, he was always slow to speak, and he said, "What price McDougal, who lives down at Cooper's Creek?" So we sent for old McDougal, and he stated in reply that he'd never played at cricket, but he'd half a mind to try. He couldn't come to practice, he was getting in his hay, but he guessed he'd show those beggars from Molongo how to play. Now, McDougal was a Scotchman, a canny one at that, so he started into practice with a paling for a bat. He got Mrs. Mac to bowl to him, but she couldn't run at all, so he trained his sheepdog Pincer how to scout and fetch the ball. Now Pincer was no puppy, he was old and worn and grey, but he understood McDougal and accustomed to obey. When McDougal cried out, "Fetch it!" he would fetch it in a trice, but until the word was "drop it," he would grip it like a vice. And each succeeding night they played until the light grew dim. Sometimes McDougal struck the ball, sometimes the ball struck him. Each time he struck the ball would plough a furrow in the ground, and when he missed the impetus would turn him 3 times round. The fatal day at last arrived, the day that was to see Molongo bite the dust or Piper's Flat knocked up a tree. Molongo's captain won the toss and sent his men to bat, and they gave some leather hunting to the men of Piper's Flat. When the ball sped where McDougal stood, firmly planted in his track, he shut his eyes and turned him round and stopped it with his back. The highest score was 22, the total 66, when Brady sent a Yorker in and scattered Johnson's sticks. The Piper's Flat went into bat for glory and renown, but like the grass before the sigh, our wickets tumbled down. 9 wickets down for 17, with 50 more to win. Our captain heaved a huge sigh and sent McDougal in. £10 to 1, you lose it," cried a barracker from the town. But McDougal said, "I'll take it, mon," and planked the money down. Then he girdled up his moleskins in a self-reliant style, threw off his hat and boots, and faced the bowler with a smile. He held the bat the wrong side out, and Johnson with a grin stepped lightly to the bowling crease and sent a wobbler in. McDougal spooned it softly back, and Johnson waited there, but McDougal cried, "Fetch it!" and started running like a hare. Molongo shouted, "Victory! He's out as sure as eggs," when Pincer darted through the crowd and ran through Johnson's legs. He seized the ball like lightning, then ran behind a log, and McDougal kept on running while Molongo chased that dog. They chased him up, they chased him down, they chased him round, and then he darted through the slip rail as the scorer shouted, "10!" McDougal puffed, Molongo swore, excitement was intense. As the scorer marked down 20, Pincer cleared a barbed wire fence. "Let us head him off," shrieked Molongo. "Brain that mongrel with a bat." "Run it out, good old McDougal," yelled the men from Piper's Flat, and McDougal kept on jogging, and then Pincer doubled back, and the scorer shouted 40 as they raced across the track. McDougal's legs were going fast, Malonga's breath was gone, but still Malonga chased the dog. McDougal struggled on. When the scorer shouted 50, then they knew the chase could cease, and McDougal gasped out, "Drop it," as he dropped within his crease. Then Pincer dropped the ball, and as instinctively he knew discretion was the wiser plan, he disappeared from view. And as Malonga's beaten men lay exhausted all around, we raised McDougal shoulder high and bore him from the ground. We bore him to McGuinness's, where lunch was ready laid. We filled him up with whiskey punch, for which Malonga paid. We drank his health in bumpers and cheered him 3 times 3. And when Malonga got its breath, Malonga joined the spree. And the critics say they've never seen a cricket match like that, when McDougal broke the record in the game at Piper's Flat. And the folk are jubilating as they've never did before, for we played Malonga cricket and McDougal topped the score. Thomas E. Spencer.